Hey folks, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We're going to be jumping into some Wartales. Had an opportunity to play this on stream the other day, and I absolutely loved it. Didn't get too far, but we did start it, and I think almost the entire game, you know, it's an open world RPG. Think of it kind of turn-based strategy is the best way to think about it, and it's medieval based, which I absolutely love medieval games. Developer of this also two games that I really love. One of my favorite games, Northgard, which is another really good simulation-based game, and then of course Dune. Spice Wars. So great games from the developer, and everything thus far in this game shows that it lends to be really good as well. Okay, so let's go in and just kind of look. I'm going to talk through some of the things that I do now through these. I think I've tried about 2 or 3 different times now, so I feel pretty comfortable understanding what to choose, but it may be different for you. We're going to choose the first one here because I want the influence. Raw materials are pretty easy to get once you understand the game a little bit, and then I like to get all of the starting companions. The rest of these, you can choose them if you want. You know, I prefer not to have like happiness, negatives, and some of these others. So that's why I choose the first one. But you can absolutely, if you prefer different starting companions, then you may want to look at these others. So let's go for that one. For long walks, this is the one I prefer. I think speed's pretty important in the game, in my opinion. You do have these though. So, you know, cunning fighters will actually get you 10% in both combat increase and then also in your battle increase. You can do resilience if you like. That's constitution. Critical damage 10%, and then experience. These I feel like you can get internal to the game, and I definitely prefer to have the speed of the troops just a little bit faster. The next part of it is you see that it feels like I'm going after the top one every single time. Carrying weight to me is pretty important. It's not that big of a deal for your people because you're going to get a pony or whatever, a miniature horse we'll call it, that you're going to get an opportunity to have with you. So you're going to have a little bit additional carrying capacity, but I prefer to go ahead and get that. The rest of these are not really anything that I personally want, but they may be depending on the build or the way you're going to be playing through the game. So we're going to do here for carrying capacity. I prefer the adaptive. That way it increases as we go. I have not tried the region lock, but for this one, we're going to go with adapted. Basically means it's going to continue to progress with us. So the enemy will not get easier. Okay, now for combat difficulty, I went through and I did a little bit of each one of these. Although we understand these games, I'm still going to be doing novice for these two. The game is still, in my personal opinion, it's still a little difficult, right? Because you have a lot going on, and I don't play these games all the time. So we're going to go with this for now. Survival, I don't want something I'm always worried about food and water and everything else while I'm playing. It's already difficult enough. And then for save mode, we're going to put this as free. Just that way we can save the game as many times as we want and not have to worry about it, especially because we're going to be doing this playthrough. All right, here's our folks. So we're going to kind of go through here. We're going to name these folks. Okay, this cat. Wow, look at that hairdo. I like that hairdo. So only thing that this... There you go. Got to put a little bit of beard. We're going to call this guy Manny. I like Manny. Manny's good. So Manny looks like got a little bit of slice. Got some first aid for Manny. I don't think there's anything else. Swordsman. So we're probably going to leave, sword and board for them. I'm not going to choose the traits. We're going to let them just kind of go with it. I do think we're going to move this over to taunt, just because we're always going to keep sword and board. That way we can try to taunt the enemies. I think from a strategy perspective, that's probably a good idea. Okay, so that's good. Okay, now we got archer. So for here, we're going to do... Let's do Freddy. Not a normal spelling. We're going to do a weird spelling. I love the hair. It's got like that. Oh, that stash. Now that is a stash. We're not even going to put a beard. Not even going to put a beard on this one. Okay, we've got shoot. Obviously deals 4 to 7 damage. And then, of course, we've got the run, disengage. I've not really used that much. Now, the only thing with the medical, so heals a dying ally for 10% of their max heal. Moves all stacks and buffs. We may look at putting that. That may actually be a pretty good one to throw on there. What was that other one? Gains deafness. Range of next attack is double and precision is enhanced. Actually, I think we're going to go with that. And again, we'll leave this down here. Let the game choose what traits we're going to get. Okay, who's this guy? Okay, this guy's got to be what, like a rogue or something? Yeah, ranger. Okay. Let's we're just going to call this guy Eugene. That's perfect. That's a better way to spell the name anyway. I feel like the hair looks a little bit too... There we go. We got to comb forward. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Let's look at this facial. Oh, yes, with the chops. Okay, there we go. Okay, utility. I think for this one will do the first aid. Yeah, because this removes stacks of poison, bleeding, and burning. Be a little bit closer to the fight anyway, so that should be good. Okay, and this we got our first female. Let's change this hair. Oh, there we go. Okay, change the color. Yeah, make that a little... There we go. Actually, no, let's go back. There we go. We'll go Lucille. Lucille. Perfect. I like to spell names weird. Okay, so Lucille, wow, it's a brute. Okay. So we're going to go taunt. We don't want to do taunt. I think we're going to do wrath. Yeah, I think we'll do wrath. I mean, I guess I could do... I'll tell you what, we'll have 2 with taunt. And then we'll let that customization go. And then, of course, back here, good old pony. Mr. Ed. That's easy. Wheelper. And let's go with a... Oh. Color we went. Oh, gray. Yeah, let's go with the gray. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, let's get this thing started. All right, your companions are off in search of adventure. After a few days of quietly traveling along, their only feat was getting lost, and they reached their destination. Here surely awaits some novel and exciting quest that will stir up the eventful lives of bored apprentices. Adventures await at the end of the road for those who make it there alive, that is. Well, we may not make it alive. We'll see. Okay. All right, there we go. So left click is for us to move. You can see here on the map, we've got a couple items. We got one that's over here to the right. We got one that's over here to the left. Those are showing that we've got things to pick up. Okay, let's look at character screen. So if I press the C takes me into camp. So I can go into camp here and look around. We'll get into this a little bit further. If I press, let's see what other things can I do here. Okay, if I right click on the individuals, then I can see what gear and stuff they have as well as their attributes. So that's quick. And then you'll get aptitude points that we're going to be assigning as we go through. And we're going to be doing specialization as we kind of go through each one of these, which you guys will see as we play through this. The other thing we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to give folks basically professions. So you'll see that kind of work out as we go through. That brings up the kind of the first thing that I do want to get done real quick. So we're going to assign one person almost immediately to be the tinkerer. You can choose to do this if you'd like or not. We're going to do it. And once I do that, if you put the tinkerer here, basically what's going to happen is, you see, remember I was talking about I didn't so much worry about getting these right here, right? The raw materials. And part of it is because this produces 2 of those after each rest. So even though we're losing 5, or we lost 5, right? We're going to be gaining 2 now every single time. And you can stick them on the bench. And there's the cook you can stick on the bench, all of that stuff. So just remember that as we're playing through. Okay, Freddy. We can see where Freddy's at. Obviously, Bozeman. And then we've got the rest of them. So I think that's pretty good. All right. Now let's get into this. So let's go over here first and go ahead and grab this. The world is actually really big. So you can see, I mean, we're kind of in a little small area here. So it's going to be interesting to see just how big this place is as we get further along with it. I enjoy the whole idea of the strategy that's involved, which you're going to see. You do have the ability on some of these to leave the fight. Majority of the time, though, I mean, there's a couple times where I've left the fights prior to. Okay, when your turn comes, play any unit you haven't used yet in that round. And that's important to know. I think initially I didn't realize that. So just make sure you know you can play anybody. You can find out which enemy will then come into play, prepare your strategy. Now, what it means is down here I can hover and I can see. So I have 4. I get to play all 4 of my characters. Then the enemy will get to attack. And then basically end a round. It's going to reset. And then I've got 2 more to kind of go. The other thing to know in this area, WASD to kind of move, right? And if I want to turn the map like I'm doing here, I just right click and hold and I can move the map around. The other thing I want to tell you is that you can move these players if I want. So like the Freddy here, if I can move Freddy up, I can move Freddy over. So in this case, we're gonna move Freddy back here. That way it's a little bit easier for him to hit. And then I'll make sure that whenever I come forward that I'm not getting him in the way. Okay, so first we're going to choose Lucille. Let's bring her forward. Right? We're going to taunt. That way I hold. And then we're going to attack. Okay, so that's a good attack. Next, we're gonna bring. Well, first, I guess we gotta end that turn. We're gonna do Manny. We'll pull Manny up. Realistically, probably should have took Manny to the other side. That would have been a lot smarter. And we're not going to taunt this time. We're going to hit from the side. Okay. We're done. Looks like we have to move up. Probably shouldn't have done that. I guess we're going to see here. And you'll see what I mean. We can accidentally hit our own character. So let's see if we do. No, we got lucky. Yeah, so you have to be careful where you're sticking your characters. If you stick them in front of each other, then things can go bad quick. Yeah, I should have hit that before I did that also. Wasn't paying attention. It's good on me. You guys are learning. All right, we'll pull him up. And then we'll see, can we hit? We cannot because we're at an angle. So you got to be smart about how you play these two. Sometimes you'll mess it up. So we get to go in the next round with this guy. You can see because that's the first character that hit, then that's kind of where that goes. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we're going to circle him around. Surround and engage enemy with 2 allies to get a bonus. So the bottom line is if we can get 2, I like to try to get 3 on them, you're going to get a bonus. And you'll see that bonus right here as we do this. Completely. He's done. So not a difficult fight. Obviously, it's the first one, so it's only going to get more difficult. Now, you get this stuff as you go through your victory, right? You're going to get your gains. So we're going to get some experience points. We're going to get influence that you'll see each time. We do have human remains that we can take. So if you're going to be a cannibal, which you're going to see in a second, I'll show you the stuff down there. You may want to take these. And this guy right here, we got a ship's log. We actually got a damage dagger. This has got dexterity +3 and poison skill. So this may actually be better for one of our characters. The other thing we can see here is we got to repair all. This is where the raw materials come into place. Anytime you need to repair your folks, you're going to be doing the repair. And it's going to be a little bit different each time. So it may be higher, it may be lower based off what we're doing. We may do cannibal. So for now, I'm going to take, but I'm not sure yet on this one if we're going to be doing that. All right, let's grab this iron ore. Looks like Lucille can actually go up a little bit level. So we're going to do her aptitude points. That way you guys can see. So I get to choose what she's going to be doing here for 2. So first we have Relentless Charge. We have Poisoned Impact. And then we have Weakened Blow. One of the other things to know with these is this is medium armor for these 2. And then we'll get heavy armor if we go to the far right side. So I think for this, we're going to go with Poison Impact. I think that's going to be the best one. Yeah, we're going to go with Poison Impact. I click it and I'm good. Now also down here at the bottom, we know that we've got the ability to actually pick what we want to do. So if I choose Strength here, right, I'm going to get the pound's going to go from 4 to 6 damage I have right now to 5 to 7. Poison goes from 4 to 5. So this is actually pretty good. You can hover over the rest of these to see. Constitution, carrying capacity, and health if we choose this one. And then for critical hit, it's actually going to go up for these. Right now, because this is a better one, I'm going to get, the 2 points here. I go from 7 to 9. I'm going to choose that. Plus it's strength. And you definitely need that for this type of character. Okay. All right. Let's keep rolling out here. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to show you. I think, no, it's not Freddy. Who is it? It is Eugene. So Eugene, if I look right now, so this one's dexterity +2, and then he's got a stab skill. If I look at this one's dexterity +3 and a poisoning skill. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and move this over, right? And you can tell the difference right here between the strength and dexterity of what they actually look like. Dexterity obviously is way more important for right now for this character. All right, let's go down here to the plateau stables. Okay, yeah, we got some horsies in here. Let's talk to old...
When I think of how many people don't shoe their ponies, it makes me want to pull out the little hair I have left. Tell you what, buy a horse from us, and I'll throw in the horseshoes for free.
Now, horseshoes are pretty cool. These are going to give a movement increase of 3%. So, I've not bought them. Don't think we don't need another horse right now, so it's not something that we need to do, but it's definitely something for some folks. If you're playing co-op, you may want to do it. You can inspect these barrels. Understand you're going to be stealing though, and if you're stealing, then it's good. And then the other thing, sometimes you'll come in here and there'll be supplies or items along the kind of the edges here, right there. You see right there, hemp over there to the left. I can actually pick that up. So it's kind of cool. They got like little mini games inside of here as well that you'll play. Okay, let's exit out of there. Okay, let's look at the map. We do have a question mark that was over here. So let's go ahead and move that direction. Oh, actually, there's something on fire right up here. So let's go here and see what this is. Let me scroll in a little bit with the mouse button. Okay, so we got some cloth that we get to take. That's good. Come around here. We got... Okay, this is the... Yeah, this is Stromkapp. This is a good place right here to come. So let's go ahead and come in here. Main reason this area is a nice little area to come into is because we can actually get some of the stuff that we need out of the way, right? So the very first thing we need to go in here and do, we can go to the forge. We're going to want to make one of our characters basically the person that's doing that. For this, we're going to have Lucille be that as her profession. So this will be some of the stuff. These are the items that you need to have: iron, wood, and leather to craft. And then we've got 3 things we can craft here: offhand, shields, and basic armor. Basic armor, you can see, is a little bit better than what we have now. So if I was to look at one of the characters, if I go up here, click on armor CC, that's +5. So if I can make these, the rags, then it's going to be, you know, +10. So the forge actually matters, and it actually does make the stuff a little bit better.
You can use my anvil. I can also repair your armor. Oh, and I'm looking to hire a skilled blacksmith, if you happen to know one.
Yeah, so here's a good example inside of here. We can repair pretty easily in here. So if you ever get in any trouble, you know, for instance, you don't have any more of these raw materials left, you can actually come in here and repair. So it's actually a little bit better, and it costs a little bit of crowns, I believe, each time you do it. For this, we're going to take a couple more of this. We're going to spend a little bit of money, push it up to 25, just because I know that we're going to need that. I don't need anything else in here right now from him, so we're going to take off from there. Next area is Town Hall. This one's pretty easy.
Are you mercenaries?
Yes, we are.
Why, you ask? Because they have overrun our streets and are now taking to the roads. Erdogan is sending our way anything with legs and a mouth that cannot wield a sword. You have your work cut out for you.
Okay, well, that's about it in here. Next place is the market. Obviously, food's pretty important. So if we go down and we look and see what kind of food we have right now, we've got a little bit of food, but we're gonna have to feed them a little bit better. So one of the things you're gonna be worried about is food.
I understand there's a war in Edoran, but that doesn't mean they can just help themselves.
Fishing we won't worry about because we can do that later. Let's talk to her.
Come, take a look at my wares.
Here's some other stuff that you can get. I mean, again, nothing that we're going to really care about right now. It's not going to do anything for us. I'm going to look on the edges, make sure there's nothing here that we can take. I don't think so. I think we're pretty much good. Okay. I'm going to exit out. So it's starting to get a little bit late, so I'm going to get this in real quick. You can see anytime you see people highlighted, then you're definitely going to want to talk to them. Okay, so we'll go here first.
You. Yeah, you. You looking for work? I can give you tips and point you toward the best missions. The kind that pays much better than the measly rewards the Mercenary Guild has to offer. Of course, you'll then have to meet the client and meddle in other people's affairs. But at the end of the day, it's the number of crowns in your purse that counts, right?
That's right. That is absolutely it. So you've got these that you can do over here. So right here up at the top, you get the influence. So it's best to show this as we do it. You can actually use that to get these if you want. There is a location where you may want to use some of these, so it's completely on you. Let me just read these real quick. So this one's: the wife of man condemned to the gallows is desperately seeking help. Someone needs help at the abandoned tower. This one's: a refugee is looking for mercenaries who can fight as well as they negotiate. And then this one's: the captain guard is looking for mercenaries to help him bring a criminal to justice. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one. We'll use some of our influence. It's going to put that circle.
I can do for you?
Oh, we're good, buddy. So now when I go to the map, I press M to go to the map. It's going to show me exactly where it's at. So that's going to be good. So that means now we can get some there.
Say, it's not often you see new faces around here.
That's true.
Well, apart from the Edoranian war refugees, that is.
The good part about Brandy, sometimes you have to feed your folks at night. So, and oftentimes that number is a little weird because it'll be like, you'll be like 1 over or 2 over. One of the best ways to kind of fix that is to get Brandy. So, you know, you can buy a couple of these They're not super expensive, and then that way you just kind of got them for a couple nights.
Often. There's always folk looking for work around here, especially since all the fighting started across the border.
All right, good there. Okay, now here's the important one.
Might you be looking for work? Our role as emissaries is to ensure that all service requests are fulfilled. We regularly update our job offers.
So this is one I come to probably first every single time. You come in here because money or crowns, which we show up at the top right, it's something you're going to be spending a lot of. So what I would do is come in here right off the bat, find these easy ones. Again, it's going to put circles on your map immediately. And let's just go ahead and grab those. Doesn't cost you anything, and the reward's great. Now, you can do the average ones. The average ones are going to be a little bit more difficult than the easy ones, so completely up to you. But I would definitely recommend to at least start with the easy ones to get things started for you. Okay, last place we want to visit is here. So anytime that you need stuff to craft, we'll say like health and stuff like that, we're not going to worry about actually getting somebody.
My concoctions can heal the most grievous injuries.
There you go. So
be sure to hold on to the vials after using them.
Yeah, and what she means there is when you use these, you're going to have the vials that are left over. You want to keep those because one, you can sell them back here. Remember, if you get hurt, you need something, you can come back here. But anytime you have like an injury that takes a particular type, so plagues or things like that, you're going to see the injuries as you're out. So right here, cure for the plague. When you fight the rats, you'll get the plague and you need a cure for that. This is where you would actually get it. So if you're going to go out and fight rats, stuff like that, you want to come back here. I would highly recommend that you get a alchemist at some point, but right now where we're at in the game, we really don't need to worry about it. Okay, so we are good right now. What we're going to do is we're going to proper camp back up. Up here along the top, talk about a few things, and then we're going to end this episode. It's got us in a good place to then start the next one, which is a lot more of the game rhythm. Up here at the top, you're going to see this is your troops fatigue. So this is going to let you know when we need to set up a camp. So right now, we actually don't need to set up a camp. But if you do need to set up a camp, and let's say you don't move on the rest of the videos with me, you can go here to the fireplace. You could right click on that, and you can see how much food that they're going to need. Okay, so they need 18 total food. Each one of these you hover over is going to show you the food allotment for that. So if I take this piece of chicken, you can see that's 4 of 18. So very simple process they have in place here. The other part of it is once you get all the food, so let's say that you have no food, you can actually put them to sleep. But what's going to happen is up here, you're going to lose some of your happiness. So you want to make sure every 5th day right now, also, you're going to have to pay your wages. So something to just kind of remember that you have wages and stuff that are also due to all the folks that you have here. I would always, at this workshop, remember, get a tinker right off the bat, put them there. Main reason why is because you're going to get 2 of the raw materials right off the bat. The nice thing about the tinkerer of having that person in spot already is that you're going to get what you need to okay, we got Freddy. There he is. You're going to get the ability to like do things that you need, right? Like lock picks. So if you have somebody's going to be a thief that's going to be opening up, and that doesn't mean that you're going around just like aimlessly stealing stuff from people, but there are going to be locations where you're going to defeat enemy. We're going to need to open chest, and it's going to be nice to have lock picks on you and somebody that can actually do that. Fish hooks, if you're going to be fishing, that's important. Ropes, inside of camping gear, like your tent, right? So this is going to basically maximum valor points increased. So now it's basically a +1. Your hitching post. So this ponies assigned to hitching post gain 10 carrying capacity. So these are all things that make things just a little bit better for you. So as you can upgrade these, you're going to want to do that. So make sure that inside of your camp that you're using these, because a lot of the stuff that you're going to want is going to be inside of here. All right, we're good there. And you can just click on this tent down here to kind of go back and forth of all that stuff. We're going to go over and see if we can at least complete one mission today, or at least go do a couple things real quick before we start. As you're traveling the world, you're going to see these vendors that are walking here. So, and they'll have different kind of emblems over the top of their heads. So this one, and you don't have to fight them. You can if you prefer.
Wares, my good sirs.
But most of them, as you can see here, this one's going to have like food, other items on them. You're going to see some others that'll have a different, and they'll have more like cloth and other items on them. So just know the difference depending on what the item is that you'll want. And as you play the game, you're going to start to understand what those are pretty clearly. There we go. Grab some iron there. Let's see if this one, nope, that one's the same thing. Okay, we got somebody over here in the ground. So we're going to walk over here real quick. These are good too. Just pay attention to have these. Okay, right click just to pick it up quickly. We'll move this way. I'm going to grab this iron that's up here. If you get stuck on anything, you know, just back up and then come back in. The way co-op works, just so everybody knows, you're actually going to be stuck in a group with, so you have 4 characters when you come in. You can basically split it up. So somebody has 2 and then the other person has, you know, 3. So it's actually kind of a cool process. And when you look up here to the top left where you have your companions, this area, it'll actually only show the ones that you're commanding and then whoever your co-op friend is that's playing as well. Oh, here's an example of the emblem being different. So if I come to this group, you can see this group is now selling
in my humble wares, my good
there you go.
sirs.
So now they're selling gear. So they've got medium armor, and then of course we've got a halberd. Can't use either of those right now, but that's how you can tell the difference of those. All right, let's stop in here. Okay, again, he's highlighted, so we know we need to talk to him.
To think that we have to camp out here because of some pig-headed bandit. That Bertram will stop at nothing to terrorize the yokels. But when it comes to facing the guard, that's a whole other matter. You see that cave to the north? He's holed up in there. It's been 3 days and still he won't surrender. Bertram knows he's done for, yet he continues defending his lair with such doggedness that we have no choice but to starve him to death. That's why I need mercenaries. He doesn't know you. He might even let you in if he thinks he can convince you to help him. And once you've gained his trust, you can finish him off for us. We'll make it worth your while, I promise.
So the one thing I love about the game is that they have the voice acting over the top of stuff, which is nice. Like you don't have to read everything. For this one, if we do get this, we're going to get 100 crowns. We're going to get some influence. And then the other part is we didn't talk about earlier is just knowing that kind of like how we're doing in the region, right? How far we've progressed. So we're going to get a little bit of progression for doing this as well. I did see down here, I've got the yellow exclamation mark, right? So this is basically a collection of all the blueprints and patterns and recipes and all that our troops can learn. So as you come through this, the one thing I did not realize at first is you can go to a lot of these. So just know that there is multiple pages. It's not just one page. The one thing I talked about earlier, speed's important to me. So probably the first thing I'm going to do right off the bat is being able to run like that for sure. Then we could come down and I can start looking at what other things. So rationing is troops eat less food. Restoration, repair materials, and village blacksmiths restore 5 additional armor points. We can do movement speed in the world increased by 5. Weight training. I'm not really worried about that right now because we already got that when we started the game. Feat makers, location markers if we need. Here's cannibalism. You can now devour human corpses. We've got artful dodgers. Suspicion meter kind of goes down. Recruitment cost and companions are reduced. Or we also can do, you can spend influence. The other thing I do is go into the workshop and see if there's anything inside of here that matters to us, like saddlebags. Again, carrying capacity, not something I'm overly concerned about right now. We can also do workshop, a small makeshift workshop your companions can use to create useful items. So that one's nice. And then of course a campfire. You can use campfires to pay and feed your troops, which we already know. And then anything else in here? Nothing else in here. And then of course we got the alchemy table. So I think for here, we're gonna do less food for our people. Again, save us a little bit of money. Okay, and now we're done. We don't have anything else left there. The other thing is pass. So inside of here, as we complete things, all of these are gonna light up. And they're basically gonna give us points, and at some point we'll be able to unlock some other items, which I'm sure we're probably gonna see as we move into the next episode inside of this. One other thing with co-op is there's actually another chest that's here beside the inventory area that will show you the camp storage. So the bad part is you actually have storage inside of the camp, but you can't like actually access it unless you set up your camp. So if I press, C right here, I set up camp. If I put a storage area out here, right, I actually make one. Then from that point forward, I now have storage that I can have. So just another little cool thing that you can add. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go in here. You start with that already for co-op, though. That's the important part. All right, here he is, Bertram.
Ah, mercenaries. Did Fergus send you to help us?
Oh yeah, I'm here to help, buddy.
Roland hired you to kill me. I beg of you, don't do this. We do not enjoy bullying the farmers, you know. We have no choice if we want to survive. Roland is the one who must die. I will match his offer. In fact, I can pay you more. And you would be doing a good deed. Once he is gone, the farmers of Chiltern will have no one to protect them. We won't have to force them to share their resources with us. Kill the captain. It's the only solution.
Yeah. So in this case, you have a choice here. You can, you know, your decisions have consequences. So in this case, we're actually going to attack. I want to be friends with the cities and also, you know, I'm going to be in the good guy's side, right? But we could absolutely go the opposite direction here if you wanted to. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and attack. This is a level 1 fight. This one we have a couple of other people inside of, because there was 2 other folks inside. Just to kind of change the difference here, these red circles, didn't really know what this was initially. You can hover over the top of and see falling rocks are going to go there. So it's important not to stand there. The other thing that we're going to want to look at here is we know there's more people, or we saw more people. So you just want to kind of look around to make sure there ain't anybody else in here. And it looks like he's the only one. Okay, we've got a tank over here. We got the archer. I'm actually going to pull the archer over. Let's do this. Yeah, let's pull him right there. There we go. Okay. Now, down here at the bottom, I get the first 4 moves, and then he'll get his turn. So we're going to go ahead and move up. Okay, so we got to go with Lucille first. Oh, yeah. My bad. So let's go ahead and move all the way up. Let's bonk him in the face. Okay, when you perform a melee attack on a free enemy, you engage them. An engaged enemy or engaged unit can only attack their engaged opponent that has a higher chance of taking critical damage. An engaged unit is exposing their back, right? So this is important right here from a tactical perspective. So right now, we know that his back is open. One of the nice parts about, I would say, the Rangers, the Rogue, whatever you want to call them, is the ability to actually sneak up on the backside. So what we're going to do is see if we can't do that right now. And we can. So now I can sneak up. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and... Now I could actually move him if I want. Not going to go very far, but... actually, we're going to... Can we hit? Oh, sorry. Let's get the right person here. Yep, let's move him up there. Shoot. Good to go. We're done with him. Move him up. And then now you saw that little symbol there. It's because now we got him surrounded, basically. So he'll get his one opportunity here to hit. We got all 3 of us. But he's no longer with us. But the bad part is 3 people got injured. So that's the bad part when you have somebody like that does a spin is doing that right there. Okay, we're gonna get obviously the remains. We're gonna get a little bit of crowns, and then we're also gonna get this master's jacket. So this is movement +2, and then of course armor, and it's light armor is what it is. So we're gonna loot all of that. We're also gonna take that body. We need to repair all 3 of them. Okay, the one thing I also want to do real quick is Eugene. We get to level him up. So let's take Eugene. Let's hit him here. We've got 3 things. We have Valorous Audacity. So each time a unit ends their turn next to an enemy, it is not engaged in combat, you gain. Every time this unit kills an enemy, you gain. Or every time the unit ends their turn next to an ally and is not engaged in combat. So we're going to do this one because we're going to be around the enemy and killing the enemy quite often. So this is what we're going to do here. And then now I can choose what I want. So we got Constitution, right? That's going to increase their carrying weight, also their health. We can do critical hit in terms of percentage of chance, or we can do movement. So in this case, I think we're going to be okay because we're going to put the critical hit on, right? Then what I'm going to do for good old Eugene here is we're going to take this off, and now we're going to put the... I think we can put him on it, right? Oh, no, we can't. Okay, so hold on. So the best way to look at this thing... Somebody else wear it? Oh, it's light armor. So we don't have anybody up to light armor yet. So that's why. So we're going to have to get somebody up to light armor. Oh, we have her here. Okay. So we do have her up to light armor. So much better now. Obviously now you've got the 2 movement and 14 armor, which is a little bit better than what she had before. Okay. All right, let's talk to the captain here.
So, Bertram is dead. My men and the good citizens of Tiltran will be glad to hear it. I must commend you for your courage and your devotion to our cause. Here is the reward the Lady Mayoress promised me.
Nice. So again, got some crowns. We got some influence, which is good. So even that influence we spent made it worth it. And then, of course, you know, the big thing is the crowns is what you're going to be spending a lot of. So you're definitely going to want to be making sure that you are doing it. One of the things you see here, I was talking about the lock picks. So don't forget to always, on the inside of these, to check and see if anybody has anything on them, right? Like, don't just run away. And even sometimes you'll have iron on the sides or other things. Last thing is we actually have a container here that's locked. So we know we need to come back here. I don't have a thief right now and I don't have lock picks, but we're definitely going to want to come back here and get that at some point. All right. Well, hey, we're going to end the first episode right there. We'll continue to maneuver through. I look forward to continuing the game with you guys and then kind of seeing things should start to speed up pretty quick anyway. We're moving into the time period where we need to set up our camp and get everything kind of figured out. So I look forward to it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are enjoying this, do me a favor, hit that like button, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. See you now, Sarge, signing off.